What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and The Mandalorian is, I'd say, universally enjoyed. I haven't seen many, credible complaints about the show. I mean, I've seen a little bit of huff and puff, and I thought it was a perfect example of you're just never going to please everybody. And this video goes out to all the people in Hollywood or in any creative space, whether it's video games or music. There is a section of people that are just never going to be happy. They're the worst people on the planet. They're also the worst people to listen to when you decide to make a film. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Manscaped.com. Many of you have reached out to me to let me know that you've started using their Crop Mop ball wipes and you love feeling clean, and those enjoying that area are also enjoying it. Well, now they also have the Perfect Package 2.0, which features the Plow 2.0. It's the very first safety razor I've ever used, and it's actually feeling really classy. Now, this package, of course, has all sorts of things from the Preserver to the Reviver. You get the Lawnmower 2.0, which is your waterproof electric trimmer. You get the Crop Preserver. This is your anti-chafing ball deodorant. You get the Crop Reviver, which is, of course, that ball toner and refresher, and the Magic Mat, which is a set of 3 disposable shaving mats. You also get the Shed and Manscaped boxers for free. They also have a replenishment plan that will keep you stocked with razors, and you save 25% on orders instantly versus the single product purchase. You get $137 worth of product for just $74.99. Subscribers also get new replacement blade refill for their trimmer delivered to their door every 3 months, entirely hassle-free. So head over to manscaped.com, use my promo code in the description below, and get those balls clean. We can look at the film like Joker, $1 billion plus without China. We can look at The Mandalorian, for example. Universally agreed, both the audience and the critics give the show a 94% on audience score and 89% on critics. Now, I'm not really interested in paying for more TV, and although Verizon has given me a free subscription to Disney Plus, I just haven't really gotten around to installing it. I don't have a lot of interest in watching old movies. Maybe when they fix The Simpsons, I'll go back and continue watching that, which they did do, by the way. So kudos to Disney. If you saw last week, they released The Simpsons in widescreen format, which cut off a lot of the original jokes and made the show look just terrible in general. They've decided to fix that, which is great. But The Mandalorian, while interesting to hardcore Star Wars fans, the biggest complaint I've heard is some of the episodes are too short. That's about it. I don't like this weekly release stuff. I think that this is more damaging for users, forcing you to subscribe monthly. I dislike that. I dislike the idea that these a la carte services were supposed to destroy cable, not become it. Now that we've had to divide into Hulu, HBO Max, Cartoon Network's on something else, and Disney took their shows off Hulu, and Marvel took their shows off Hulu, and Netflix has their shows. You spend $100 a month on these things, and you're no better off than you were before. But nonetheless, the show itself has been universally acclaimed, and things like Baby Yoda, for example, is an excellent example of just something that everybody loves. If we look at, the audience score and average user score, it's excellent. But as Data Racer has assembled, by the way, strong shout out to Data Racer 117, somebody that I strongly recommend following on Twitter should you use it, has assembled a group of never happies. And these are the people that you see getting their way. Here's one, Cinnamon Ghoul. So far, there aren't any women in The Mandalorian, so most Star Wars fans should love it. I don't know if that's true. How about Dave Extreme, 1945? Length of time before there's a female speaking role in the first episode of Mandalorian. Who watches shows for this? Nobody. Nobody really cares about this stuff. Mandalorian review, 1 out of 10. No female lead role, and there's too much violence. Well, maybe don't watch it. I don't understand. These takes are unbelievable. The Mandalorian is fun, but where the heck are any female characters? Zero woman in episode 2 of The Mandalorian. Here's Elizabeth Yulberg, a certified checkmark. I'm sure that this will be a great take. Watching The Mandalorian and really enjoying it. However, it has taken 19 minutes for a female to appear, so that's disappointing. What? Why is this even a take? No, not a single woman in that entire Mandalorian pilot. I didn't even see many women in crowd scenes. I'm not going to go count, but they were dominated by male extras. I know we have Fennec and Cara coming in future episodes, but that doesn't make me feel better about the lack of female parts in this episode. A classic, I'm never happy, I'm never going to be happy, but these are the people that are getting you characters like Admiral Gender Studies in Star Wars. These are the people that have really nothing going on with their life, and they spend it all day worrying about what's going on with their checkboxes and whether or not they're offended or not. But the lack of women in the first episode of The Mandalorian. I kind of want to watch The Mandalorian, but I kind of want to boycott it until they have more female representation. These are the new, and that looks like he's got a Kylo avatar, I believe. A lot of this is your new Star Wars fan, the NU Star Wars fan, of course. Every time I catch myself getting excited over The Mandalorian, I remember that there's legit like 2 women on the show. So? It just begs the question, as always, what is the appropriate amount? What is the social justice approved if it's all women, maybe? And we see how that's worked in Terminator Dark Fate as well as Charlie's Angels, 2 huge box office successes. Wait a minute. They weren't? How about The Last Jedi? Oh, that's one of the most divisive movies in Star Wars history? Well, I'm not sure who these people are trying to please. Interesting how all the dudes love Mandalorian, but hated Disney-fied Star Wars. It's almost as if Disney isn't the problem, but maybe they just hate women. Oh, that's a real hot take. I enjoyed The Mandalorian, but the cast is 98% male. There are more droids with lines than women. Again, so? Some thoughts about The Mandalorian, otherwise known as the unending, escapable, existential ennui of being a woman who writes about Star Wars. You're not a woman who writes about Star Wars then. You're a woman that writes about being a woman. But back on reality, most everyone seems to enjoy it. How about this from Forbes.com? The Mandalorian already feels more like Star Wars than any of Disney's sequels. Only 2 episodes in, and The Mandalorian already feels more authentic, more Star Wars than any Disney's film sequels. Disney made a mistake from the very beginning by placing the dark side back into a position of overwhelming authority, reverting the rebellion back to plucky underdogs, then echoing the structure of the original trilogy, with cold, corporate glaze of fan service slickened over the surface. Rogue One had its moments. Even Solo was fun at times, but generally the new films have felt like an attempt to recreate fond memories rather than using the vast Star Wars universe to create new ones. This is exactly true. This is such a great encapsulation. This is why this guy gets paid to write. This is a great encapsulation of what I'm hearing from so many Star Wars fans. It's like you bring back beloved characters to rekindle that love, to rekindle it, that nostalgia, but you don't do anything new with them. You ruin a lot of them, by the way. You either kill them off or you ruin their characters. You bring back people like Lando for what? Just to get butts in seats, but you don't do anything new with these characters. If we want to see them, if I want to see Han Solo being awesome, I'll go see Han Solo being awesome. I don't need Disney to bring back a geriatric version of him and turn him into a total jerk. The origin story of the Death Star, like then Han Solo, the introduction of an even bigger Death Star, another dark versus light conflict orchestrated by the Emperor Palpatine, obsessing over nostalgia isn't how you move a franchise forward. Thankfully, a planned Boba Fett spinoff was ended, then replaced with The Mandalorian, a spaghetti western set in a galaxy far, far away, without a whiff of exposition, barely any dialogue or detail. The show has somehow recreated the tone of the classic Star Wars without a single lightsaber. The show isn't perfect. A masked protagonist whose clunky headgear seems unsuitable to navigate a tight corridor, let alone a gunfight, isn't easy to empathize with. But even that ridiculous detail is authentic to a universe where armor designers prioritize form over function. The Mandalorian is slightly darker than what we're used to, which, by the way, I'm a huge fan of. Yet undeniably goofy, packed with peculiar creatures, gun battles that end in disintegrations, the environment that feels like a Ralph McQuarrie concept, art brought to life. Pedro Pascal's Mando isn't saving the galaxy, but merely trying to survive in the aftermath of the Empire's collapse, thriving in an unsavory criminal underworld, essentially living out fantasies conjured by the iconic Mos Eisley cantina scene. See, when you read this kind of stuff, this is when Star Wars is great. This is how Star Wars can be good. The Mandalorian has probably got me 99% of the way to installing the app and just watching it because everybody says it's great. And you've got to reward good programming, that's for sure. It is hard to give Disney any amount of money, but since Verizon's already included it for free, I've got almost nothing to lose but my time. And it sounds like my time would probably be well invested in this show. There are good people in the Star Wars crew inside of Disney, but the problem is when you try to corporatize, when you try to turn a franchise into like an even more warped version of it, you get boring, uninspired films. Han Solo has been permanently neutered at this point, ending Greedo's second, Solo revealing his younger self to be somehow less exciting than his original edgy incarnation. But now we have a new gunslinger with a hidden heart of gold, and he's shining a light on a gritty, sleazy side of the galaxy. Darkness, I think, has always been integral to Star Wars. To me, the original trilogy depicts the Jedi as a sole honorable knight in a cruel, corrupt universe, rife with exploitation. The Disney films have steadily moved away from the lawless galaxy, dilapidated ships, and smuggling and skirmishes, ignoring the most unsavory implications of George Lucas's creation. Well, they did that weird casino war profiteering thing, but we don't need to discuss that. Star Wars needed to evolve without losing sight of its identity. The Mandalorian gives us a world packed full of surprises, yet feels deeply familiar. Saving the galaxy should be less common occurrence in this franchise, and television offers an opportunity to tell small-scale stories that explore the nooks and crannies of the sprawling. And look, I've actually heard some rumors that they're considering bringing this to the big screen at some point, maybe just collapsing all the episodes together. I'm not sure, but I don't want to spoil anything for you, but, you know, there's Baby Yoda. There's a little bit of cuteness and funniness to everything. And I think after just reading these articles live with you, reading the reviews, I mean, it seems like it'd be a good investment for a fan of Star Wars to check out. Even the top, by the way, the top critics give it 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, hey, if you've watched The Mandalorian, I hope you're enjoying it. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I thought this video would serve as a perfect reminder that there's just some people out there that you're never going to please. And please, Hollywood and video game developers, stop listening to them. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll talk to you again real soon.